Hey, good to see you again. The factory sent over the parts that were looking good on the rig. They're being fitted as we speak. Have a look at the report.
Yo, what's up guys, it's Tom, welcome back to a brand new video and a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode here for round 3 at Bahrain. You just saw Chris there give us a little bit of an update on the R&D situation and the new parts arriving on the car here at Bahrain. But I've got to say, straight after that, thank you for the massive support on the first episode so far. There'll be a card on the top right corner for the latest episode, and also there'll be a link in the description down below to the last couple of episodes. But a massive thank you for the support so far, guys, and all the new people that have come on board to the channel recently. I'm massively grateful for it, and I can't thank you guys enough. But we're going to jump straight down to it here for Friday practice at Bahrain. Round 3 of the season, a couple of new upgrades in the car. However, this is a track where the temperatures are very high, and I'm getting a little bit concerned now about the engine parts, because we know they can fail in this game, and if it's a track it may happen, it might be this one, so we're going to have to try and survive this one and hopefully come out unscathed on the other end. So we're going to have to try and keep the engine parts and the running down to a minimum. So let's try and take it easy here, but we're going to jump straight into it for Friday practice, kicking things off with the track acclimatization test, trying to maximize the resource points available for the weekend. And as you can see, we're coming towards the end of our first lap, and it's been a pretty damn good lap, and we should comfortably hit the target here, and it's going to be a purple one there. So there you go, maximum points in the track acclimatization, and that's going to bring us swiftly on to the tyre wear test, which was actually a bit of a challenge around here, I'm not going to lie. You can see right now I'm currently in the purple, my lap time is down, so I'm going to foul the first attempt. So really struggling around here to really get a good grip on the track, and I can notice I don't have major pace around here. I did a few laps and I had to turn the AI down. I mean, I was struggling around here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is just a track where the AI are OP, but my pace was poor. And as you can see, a second attempt there still goes wrong. And then eventually, finally, on my third attempt, having to use the rich engine mixture to try and find the lap time. Eventually, I would hook it all up and come through in the end on my last attempt there to come home and eventually get the purple score. So a real challenge here in practice so far in Bahrain, and one that was really one that I didn't expect around a track that I thought we would be pretty competitive on. And in the next episode I've made a little bit of a revelation, and I found something out in the R&D development path, which I'll show you in the next episode in Russia right at the start. But basically this car is much worse in terms of downfalls than I actually expected. It's the third worst car on the grid. I'll show you later on, like in the next episode in the R&D tree, but this car downfalls wise is very poor, and I've realised how much we need to prioritise on the downfalls front. So right now that's what we are doing, still getting some more purple sectors, this time nailing the fuel test, and now cutting swiftly on to the qualifying performance test on the super soft compound tyres. And our first attempt is actually going to be pretty damn good, and it should be good enough for a purple sector, or a purple, and it's actually green this time, so not the best possible scenario there. But I'm going to not go for another attempt because I don't want to use up my engine too much, and then eventually we'll cut on to the race strategy. And once again, it's a possible 5 laps. I'm going to stick to the 3 to keep the engine mileage down to a minimum, because we are going to need these components for this race, because they are precious components here for a race where the temperatures are very high and there's a lot of stress going on for the engines. Here we go then, through across the line, and that's going to be the end of the practice session, and that's going to cap it off for Friday practice, and a pretty good amount of resource points gained there. But we're now going to move on to Saturday for qualifying around Bahrain, and the sort of skies have dimmed a little bit. It's sort of like dusk conditions, and as you can see, we'll just get a little bit of a look at the paddock here, see how everybody's feeling before qualifying. And I've got to say, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm going to try and pull one out of the bag here, but the car doesn't seem to have the same edge it had in the first 2 races around China and Australia. Obviously, I got 2 podiums. You guys were saying up the difficulty, make it harder, but around here, I don't seem to have the pace. We'll see what happens. Obviously, in qualifying, a lot can change. The conditions are cooler, and the setup can be changed. And I have changed the setup from practice to qualifying. So hopefully, it'll suit a car more, and hopefully we can try and pull one out of the bag. So, hopefully qualifying works alright for us. So we're going to jump straight into it now, into Q1, and we're just going to come straight on to some of the laps that we did. So as you can see here, coming on to the end of our first lap in the session, and it's a pretty poor lap, nothing spectacular, just trying to get a feeder out on the track. Pretty dark compared to practice, so I had to sort of readjust to the light level around the circuit. And the first lap was okay, starting us in there in P13, but I went out for a second attempt, and on my second attempt I actually was on a pretty good lap here. I fueled the car a little bit for a couple of runs, and I came in a little bit hot there into the hairpin. And now as we go into turn 9, which feeds into the tight turn 10, I lock up the left front and get it all wrong, and that's going to basically cancel out our lap. And at that point I abandoned and decided to come back into the pit lane, take all the fuel out of the car, go to a fresh set of tyres and push hard. And on my final attempt here in Q1 to try and get through into the second part of qualifying, we've got a car exiting the pit lane in the form of Kevin Magnussen, and he's going to get it right on the apex and get it right in our way, and he's just going to cost us time, and I'm going to have to actually back out the lap there because it just affected us so badly. So I went straight down to lead mix, saved the fuel, and the very next lap I tried one more time here in rich mix to try and push through and see if I can get into Q2. So here we go, turn 1, 100 meter board on the left hand side, down the second gear, pick up the traction on the exit, try and have as much speed as possible through turn 3 as we now go up the hill slightly and approach turn number 4. Fourth gear corner, you can maybe use third. There's a lot of different gears you can use. In this particular lap I use third gear, sometimes I'll use fourth depending on what traction I want to get. Short shift on the exit as we now go through turn 5 into turn 6 right hander, which feeds into turn 7, short shifting into 6th gear, and so far we're up on our delta as we go into turn number 8. The hairpin, right third gear corner, try and avoid the curb on the right hand side if possible. I don't touch it too much as we now go into turn number 9, which feeds into the very tight turn 10 where I made my mistake last time. Second gear corner, possibly third, and then pick up some nice clean traction on the exit, open up with DRS, and so far it's a pretty good lap up on our delta so far. But the question is, will it be enough to get through into the second part of qualifying as we now go into towards the end of the second sector now. Fuel is very marginal as we go up the hill, and now we're going to flick it right for turn number 13 I believe, which feeds into turn 14 across the second sector split. And are we up? Yes we are. We're still doing pretty good this lap, and we're up on our delta by quite a substantial amount as we get a nice run through turn 14, and we've only got a couple more corners to go. The double apex right hand final corner here to negotiate. So here we go then, dropping it down to third gear or fourth for the final corner. I use fourth in this particular instance, getting some nice clean traction on the exit, avoiding the curb on the outside, waiting for the DRS to become available, and here we go, run it up to the line. Is it going to be good enough? Not quite, only P16, and I think that's going to be a Q1 knockout for the second race running, and that is a bit concerning because that was a pretty good lap. That felt really damn good, but somehow it just wasn't enough, and we're knocked out in Q1 for the second time this season, and Ocon's managed to get through, so very disappointing qualifying there, and we're going to start the race from quite far back, but luckily we can choose what time to start on. But overall, that's going to make for a very interesting race. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the Bahrain Grand Prix. Right, so here we are then on race day at Bahrain in Sakir, and after very disappointing qualifying for the second race in a row getting knocked out in Q1, and last time in China it was by accident, this time it was genuine. I could not get out of Q1, my pace was just not there, and the AI ain't moving that fast. I mean, the difficulty is not any harder than last race, and I've actually had to turn it back down a bit again because I just ain't got the pace. And as you can see, we're going to look at the race strategy, and we're running 2 soft tire stints and then a super soft at the end. So we're going to go and start the race on a slightly more harder compound tire, and go through the car a little bit to try and be a bit more aggressive and try and use rich mix if need be. But I'm also getting a bit concerned because the engine parts are starting to get a little bit worn now, around 35% now on average, most parts. So the rich mix and the maximum fuel mix in qualifying really take a lot out of the car. So we're going to see how this one unfolds, but I'm a little bit concerned obviously in the high temperatures. Will the engine parts have any issues? I have to wait and see. But right now my odds are a little bit against me. You know, I've got my workout out today. It's not like in the last race in China where like the rain actually helped me, because that made me gain a lot of positions. Here we've got to do it all in the dry conditions, and I'll be very surprised if once again both Mercedes have problems. So we're going to really struggle I think today to really get some good points, but hopefully if I can crack a top 7 and get the best of the rest, then that'd be a good result for me here today. But to be honest with you, if you offer me points, I think I'd take it. So it's going to be a very interesting race. I'm not really sure how it's going to go, so let's just see how it all unfolds here for round 3 of the season at Sakir. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the race. Right then, here we go. 5 red lights for round 3 of the season at Bahrain. It's going to be lights out, and away we go. Let's have a good start here on these soft tyres. Pretty good start actually, really good traction, really good second phase of the start here. We're in the slipstream of Jolyon Palmer. We're going to pull to the inside, cover off the inside or any possible attacks, take the inside line onto the curb, very tight through there, up into P13. So good start so far. Got caught by inside, a little bit of contact there on the outside. Hulkenberg getting tangled up in a bit of a squabble, and I'm up into P11. Let's try and defend the inside line here and try and power ahead of Hulkenberg. There we go. Got close the door on him, and we're going to hold on to P11. So a very good start here at Bahrain, getting past plenty of cars and keeping our nose out of trouble. So overall, I'm very impressed so far with the initial start phase of this Grand Prix, and we've got ourselves in a really nice position here on a really good solid compound here. So let's try and get down to some rhythm now, try and find a bit of pace. And these 4 cars ahead of us are the ones we're going to be battling with today. I think the top 3 teams are going to be a little bit out of reach here today. So these are going to be the guys that we're going to be racing with, I think. And P7 now, after that start, is very much looking on the cards. So let's try, and that's going to be our goal today. So let's try and hunt that position down and try and fight these guys and see what we can do as we now make our way onto the second half of lap 1. I've had a poor exit out of the final corner, and here comes Carlos Sainz making a move up the inside. Can he get me on the brakes into turn 1? I don't think he can. He's going to look up my inside. I've run in a bit deep on purpose. He's actually got me though, to be fair, and he's made the move stick, and I've got to let him go. So nice move there from Carlos, making it work beautifully, and that's him up into 11th place. I'm just going to try and follow him here and see if I can see what he's doing, maybe try and learn a few lines from him, because I don't really seem to have great pace around this circuit. I'm struggling around here, and I think Ocon may be struggling as well, but I'm really struggling. So let's try and set into rhythm here and try and follow him. Alright, here comes Esteban Ocon, my teammate now, is going to try and make a move on me here. I'm just going backwards this race. Oh, these guys are braking really early for turn 1. I've got to go into first gear, but here comes Ocon. He's on the super soft, so I'm going to hold the inside. He's still on my outside. I've got to leave him the room. I've got to be very careful. Oh, he just gives me a bit of a barge there. I think we're going 3 wide here at the moment. No, we're not. Okay, Ocon's up my inside. I'm going to let him have the position. I'm not going to fight him. He's my teammate, so I'll try and be friendly and respectful. But I'm going backwards this race. Obviously, I've got the slight compound tyre on the car, but this is a different sort of race to what I'm used to, especially in F1 2016. This is a reality check almost. You know, I just haven't got the pace around this circuit for some reason. Okay, so Sainz has now gone past Magnussen, and now Ocon is making the move on Kevin Magnussen here. We've got to be very careful with the AI. Magnussen seemingly going backwards on even on them super soft, so he's obviously trying for some pace. Ocon and Magnussen go side by side into the S's here. Let's be very careful. Let's avoid hitting them on the back of them. They may lose a bit of time. Magnussen just swabs ahead of my teammate there and makes the move and holds on to P11, but this is very fastly fighting from the AI. I'm very impressed with how well they battle in this game. They can be improved in some areas, but they've definitely been improved in others quite substantially, which is great to see. But right now, I'm not really thinking of making a move. Oh, that's a big one there. That's a big moment there on the soft compound tyres. It's going to hurt me badly as Palmer gets past, and I was going to send it back in position. Just the back end snapping on me. Not happy with how the car's driving around. I've got to say, just the car feels odd. I don't know what it is. I've just got no pace, and it's slightly concerning. I just wonder if maybe because I did all my R&D work in FP1 in the broad daylight, it's now coming back to haunt me in the race when the conditions are just so much more different to just a scorching sunlight of FP1. But I'm starting to find a little bit of pace in these tyres now. But even still, I wonder if maybe doing R&D in like the conditions that are not race conditions is probably not optimal for the setup. And maybe the car is just a bit offset when it comes to the overall setup. But Magnussen and Palmer going side by side here. We're going to try and pick up the scraps as they both have a poor run out of turn 2. And here we go then. Nice run. We've got a side by side with Palmer here into turn 4. Let's try and go up the inside and make it a double overtake here. And can Palmer hold around the outside? I'm going to squeeze him out. And there we go. We're back up into 11th place. And I think I might just have the pace to get away from these two. I say might because, you know, I've made a few mistakes around here already today. But I think I've got the pace. Right, Grosjean comes into the pit lane, so he gets off them super soft tyres. We've got another couple of cars in the pit lane to do a personal best lap of the race. We've got Massa in there, I think that was, and also Bottas. So a couple of people coming off them super soft tyres here. So very interesting to see. Let's see how long we can go on these and make these last, and see if our strategy is one we're going to stick to or not. Okay, Palmer pits, another personal best from me. Just slowly finding some pace here. Vettel's also in their pit lane, so that's going to promote me up into P7. Ocon now up into P6, but just starting to find a little bit of pace in these tyres now. I'm starting to feel a little bit more happier about my performance and how the car's feeling. There comes Esteban into the pit lane along with a couple other cars who are in there. I think this is going to promote me into the net race lead, I believe. So now we're going to see what we can do on these soft tyres. I know we're into second place. Verstappen's actually the man who's staying at one more lap, but it's basically a net race lead. So let's see what we can do now up here in these lofty heights in some clean air for about 2 laps basically. Okay, Lewis Hamilton is right on the back of me here. He's going to open up DRS any second and make the move. I'm still saying personal best, so my pace is still good. But these guys are just in a league of their own at the moment. And unlike the last few races, I definitely cannot compete unlike the last two. So not that I could compete in the first 2 races anyway. But I mean, I got a podium, so on paper it looks like I could compete. But my pace was miles off in them 2 races anyway compared to these guys. And once again, the case is being proven, and this time both Mercedes are 1 and 2, and it's not the last two races where they've both taken each other out. This time they're just at full strength, so it's going to be a much tougher race this one, I think. We'll see what the strategy is. I'm going to probably pit in this lap, so we'll see what we'll do. We're going to now set a sauce most likely, and then go supers at the end. So let's just try and take it easy now on this in lap. And if Mercedes and Ferraris want to drive past me, then they can do that. I'm not going to fight them too hard. Bottas looks like he's going to be the next one to make the move on me here, so I'm not going to make it too hard. I'm just going to take it nice and easy through here, pick up a little bit of traction. DRS wide open now for Valtteri Bottas, so he's going to make the move any second. Here he comes. He's going to pull to the inside, and I'm going to leave him free range to make the move up the inside here. I'm not going to fight him too hard. And there he goes. He's up into second place. I'm down to P3, and now we've got Kimi Räikkönen behind us, who's the man who's won the first 2 races of the season, and then Sebastian Vettel just behind him. So the top 4 pretty close actually on track. It could be a pretty tasty race, as I've accidentally gone a gear too far down there. But right, Kimi's going to be low at the back of me here. Hopefully he doesn't pass me into the final corner. We're going to select the pit stop. And one more corner to negotiate. Come on then. Nice and easy through there. Pick up the traction, pull to the inside, and there we go. Kimi's going to get on his way. I'm going to come in, get the limiter on, and there we go. Solid pit entry there, not too shabby. And now let's try and have a perfect pit stop. Hopefully no mistakes. Get the clutch ready, and hopefully a nice swift one. Get the clutch in. Off we go, 2.6, not too bad. We've just managed to come out ahead of Alonso there, so luckily we didn't get held up. So we're going to rejoin. The question is where? So down to P13 right now. Once again, AI going for another set of super softs here. We're going to be away. We're going to rejoin behind the likes of Palmer and Magnussen. Can we come out ahead of Danny Kvyat here? Into the first corner, just pick up the apex, shut the door on the Russian. And there we go, we're going to rejoin in P16. So we've got work to do now on this tyre if we want to try and get some sort of points this race. But Kvyat's going to make a move, I think, here. He's going to look for it to the inside. I'm going to just defend myself, defend my position. Kvyat's still on my inside. I'm going to leave him the room, but I'm just going to go around the outside on the fresh rubber. Kvyat's still on my inside here. He's surely going to have to yield the position, and there you go. He just lets go, and that is me solidly into P16, and now I can try and focus on what's ahead of me and not what's behind me. Right, I'm just starting to find a little bit of pace now. I'm starting to find my mojo after 12 or so laps. Also, I don't know if it's actually going to get night time here. I think the conditions might be in dusk. I've maybe not set it to official time. I don't know what's going on, but I'm expecting it to go dark, and it's not really happening. But here we go, right behind Palmer. He seems to be really struggling on those tyres, and I'm starting to catch him pretty quickly. A pretty good lap there, personal best 33.7, so I'm starting to find my rhythm, like I said, around here, and I'm starting to look a little bit dangerous. So I think a move on Palmer is pretty imminent. So here we go, we're going to get a nice run through turn 4, just got that power on, and now we're going to just feed it through the S's, and I want to try and go for a dive into the hairpin as we get very close to Palmer through there, keeping some good speed through. We're going to pull to the inside, make the move on the braking. Come on, let's make it stick here. Palmer's still on my outside, squirt the traction on, he's still there. Wow, fair play, holding it around the outside. We're going to go side by side into turn 10. He's going to come out very wide there. Very, very wide. I had to get out of the throttle there, because otherwise that could have been a pretty nasty accident. And somehow he's got DRS and not me. So Palmer really giving me a good old fight here and costing me some time. So let's try and make the move here. Let's try and go nice and quick through here. Pick up a short shift in 5th. Get right up close through here. Flat out through this next right-hander. Right, I'm not close enough, so we're going to have to sit behind him for a little bit longer. I think into turn 1 is going to be the move. So we're just going to sit in his slipstream for now on this back straight, and then we're just going to wait for the DRS to become available, and we'll make the move on the home straight. So here we go, set myself up using all the curb available. Nice line in, nice line out. There we go, in the slipstream, wait for the DRS. Here we go, bang. And right, now pick up the toe, 8th gear, stay in the toe as long as possible, and pull to the inside, and let's try and get him on the brakes. Into turn 1, very nice. Oh no, it's gone. Oh no! Oh no! It's gone. Oh, the car. It's gone again. Right. So you've got to be very careful with the dirt on our tyres around here. It's a very sensitive track, and this game's very sensitive for dirt in your tyres. But that's really thrown my strategy out now. That's not helped one bit. I don't think I'm getting points this race unless a miracle happens. Okay, a few cars in the pit lane, which is going to promote me up into P11. But Ocon going to the mediums there. Very different tyre choice. And I think that's going to hopefully bring it back into play for me when I eventually go into the super softs in the final stint of the race there. They're all going to come up behind Alonso, but I look at that'll be much competition, because Alonso is a sitting duck in a straight line. But you know, it's an extra car I'll have to pass, and I need to try and just keep on pumping in lap times here. Okay, we've got a few more cars in the pits, which is going to promote me temporarily back up into the points, but we're going to rejoin just behind Massa, who's on mediums, and a lot of these guys go into medium tyres, so that might just give me a chance in the race when I go on super softs to maybe attack them. Still doing personal best, so not too shabby, just trying to push as hard as I can now, really get the maximum out of this tyre before I switch over to the super softs. Okay, through the final corner, I've made a strategy change. I'm coming in this lap for my final stop of the race, switching over to super soft tyres. So let's make this one count here. Let's get it also down for the limiter. There we go, not too bad. Pretty solid pit entry there. Last stop of the race, I decided to come in a few laps earlier because my tyre wear doesn't seem to be that bad. Also, Lance Stroll's in behind, so that's going to gain us a place here. Let's try and get ahead of him here. Oh, we've been held. Damn it. We've been held. That's not ideal for us. So Stroll's going to get... He just cost us a bit of time there. But we're currently in P13. So that's not too bad. We might have made the overcut work here. We're going to be in P14. And then we're going to probably rejoin in 16th there. But I forgot to take the limiter off again. But P16, that's not too bad. Because we've actually... I feel like we've gained a bit of net time. And we're now on the super soft compound tyres. And we've got a little bit of a battle going up ahead between Kvyat and Van Dorn. So let's try and catch these two up and try and make light work of them. I've got a little bit of rich mixture to use, but hopefully the cooler conditions may suit me a little bit more. And hopefully this tyre works, because I need to make some moves pronto. Okay, Kvyat is going very slowly here. I think he's got some damage on his front wing, I'm going to guess, because he's going very, very slow. So here we go, we're going to pull to the inside. Really leave us the room. I don't know, I'm going to force him out though. Up the inside of the Russian. I think he's got damage at the battle of Van Dorn. I think he's hurt his front wing. So we're in the P15 now. Now let's try and hunt down the Belgian, Stoffel Van Dorn. Right, here we are right on the slipstream of the Belgian. The grip on this compound is absolutely monumental here. So we're going to just sit behind him. He's on the same compound as me, fresh supers. We're going to wait behind, wait for the DRS to become available, and it should be a fairly simple move on the McLaren Honda as we out-drag it by a country mile. Here we go then, get the power down. I'm actually not that quick in a straight line, to be fair. I'm running pretty high aero, but we get past Van Dorn there with relative ease, and we're now up into P14, and we can now chase after Jolyon Palmer. Something worth noting, my engine is on yellow, and I think, let's have a look, the ICE is now 50%, so that might be worth changing for the next race, possibly at Sochi. So we'll probably use our ICE in Monaco, which is a track that we can use and we can afford to be a bit down on engine power. But that ICE is going to have to go by the next race. Personal best lap of the race, not too bad. So we're catching Palmer pretty quickly. We're setting this track a lot with the lap times we're doing at the moment. Okay, into the final corner, catching up to Palmer quite nicely here. We're going to have DRS. I'm going to crank up the standard mix here. Let's try and push this car a little bit and see what we can do in a straight line here. Picking up the toe. Nice bit of straight line speed. Look at the speed we've got in rich mix here with some DRS. I'm tempted to go for the dive here. Oh, I'm going to be very hot on the brakes. Come and bring the nose back in for the apex. Oh, Palmer's there. Got to leave in the room. Come on. Let's go. Let's get the move. Rich mix. Come on. There we go. I want to keep it rich for this lap to try and catch the car ahead. Pace is still pretty good. We're catching Magnussen bit by bit. We've really left Palmer behind. There's still a chance we get points here because there's a guy. I think there's 3 cars in front of Magnussen that are battling. So there is an outside chance of points. But we're going to need every single one of these laps to be absolutely perfect, and we need to make light work of Kevin Magnussen. But it's going to be very hard to get the points. But I'm going to give it a good old go. Okay, I've just managed to get within DRS of Kevin Magnussen here. He's within DRS of the Renault in front, and I think the Renault in front of him may have some issues. I think it's Nico Hulkenberg who's going very slowly, and Magnussen's going to make short work of him by making the move up the inside of turn 1. Hulkenberg's going to try and hang around the outside here, but he's just got nothing. I think he's got issues, and we're going to try and pick him off also. So pick up the toe here, pull to the inside. I wonder if his tires maybe hit the cliff. He might have gone for maybe the one-stop strategy. Either way, up the inside of Hulkenberg, and that's light work there. I'm up into P12. Kevin Magnussen up next. I don't think we're going to get points this race. It's looking very unlikely. I'm going to try my best though. Right, we're close to this lap. I'm still nowhere near making a dive on Magnussen, but if I can get close to the brake zone, I can maybe make a move out the corner. We are actually catching the car ahead, which I think it might be Roman Grosjean, so maybe we might have a chance. We're going to have to really have these perfect 2 laps though. Okay, so if I now these sort of twisty section, use all the curb available. Here we go. Can we go up the inside on the brakes? Up the inside of K-Mag. Pick up the traction on the exit. Oh, the back end's just snapping on me again. Same thing's happened 3 times this race. It's so infuriating. I'm just getting too greedy on the throttle, and the car is not liking it one bit. So K-Mag's going to stay ahead for now. Grosjean's just up the road. I think he's too far ahead, but I'm still going to try my hardest. We get a good run on Magnussen here. Can I get him out of this corner? Maybe into over the top of the crest, over the fast right, maybe across the second sector split into the next right-hander after this, with a right on the toe of Magnussen here, up the inside here. Can we make it work? Oh, he's still there on my outside. I'm going to squat the throttle on. Can we outpower him? Come on, come on. There we go. Right, we're ahead of him for now. I just got a good final corner, and I should be able to make past him. He's going to go up my inside though, so he's going to make the move there. I'm going to let him have it. He's going to have DRS, I think, so I'm just going to sit behind him, try and follow him as we go into the last lap of the race. This has not helped one bit. A last lap battle with Magnussen is not what I wanted. Look at that, he's actually putting away. Look at the speed he's got. Gee whiz. Oh man. Alright, so Magnussen's going to hold on for a little bit longer in P11. Grosjean is just up the road, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough. And I think, the back end's just not cooperating today. This is going to be my first non-points finish, I think, today. Let's try and get P11 at least, though. Come on. Same thing as last lap. Get a good run through here. Short shift it to fourth. Pick up the traction. There we go. Now feed it into the curves, here, into the S's. And then just line them up for a pop up the inside into the hairpin. This time, let's try and make it stick under braking. Second gear, there we go. This time, much nicer. Get my car in the way. And now I'm up into P11. But I think that is going to be it. And that's all she wrote for Bahrain, I think. Here we go then through the final corner. Looks like Ocon scored some bloody good points here today. But I'm going to come through the final corner. Come home for P11. And it's a very disappointing race here at Bahrain. And no points. So there you go. A very disappointing race. Just didn't have the pace all weekend for some reason. Just couldn't find it. I don't understand the engine wear. Just overall lack of pace. But I mean, I was nowhere the entire weekend, and that was a really, really poor race for me. And hopefully I can bounce back stronger in the next race in Sochi. But I do think I'm going to run all elements of the power unit one more time around Sochi, and then I'm going to have to make some changes. I think the ICE might have to get changed in the next race, because the ICE is really struggling. So luckily we managed to make it to the end of the race in those excruciatingly hot conditions, and no engine parts failed on us, so that's good. But we're going to have to keep a keen eye on the engine path and development, and also maybe get some R&D points and try and improve our engine reliability, and also improve our durability, because we need to really get the life out on these components. Otherwise we're going to be taking grid penalties by the end of the season. But overall, that was Bahrain, and we're now going to look at the final race results, drivers and constructors standings. And there we have it, looking at the final race results. Kimi Räikkönen wins yet again, and he's in dominant form at the minute this season, and nobody can touch him. He's just absolutely unstoppable in this career mode. But in terms of other drivers, obviously Lewis Hamilton in P2 and Bottas in P4, so Mercedes actually scoring points with both cars for the first time this season. David Ricciardo there in P3, Verstappen in P5, and Vettel can only manage P6 there. Felipe Massa in P7, and Esteban Ocon, my teammate, getting a couple of points, 4 points to be exact, in P8, and I finish in P11. But for the driver standings, what that means is that I'm now dropped down to P5, and Ocon gets himself up into P8. Even though Lewis Hamilton's obviously charging through the field, it looks like he's dropped a few places, but in reality there's only 2 Mercedes splitting myself and my teammates, and both those Mercedes will eventually pass me. So it's going to be Ocon basically behind me in the driver's standings there. And then finally looking at the constructors, we dropped down to P4 behind Mercedes, as you would expect. But overall, it's been a pretty solid episode here today at Bahrain, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And if you did, please do smash the like button, and also if you're new here, why not subscribe to my channel for future F1 content. And yeah guys, there's going to be loads of content coming out on the channel on the next few weeks and days, so I do urge you to stay tuned on my channel and always come back, because there's probably always be a video uploaded. Double daily uploads for the foreseeable future, and I hope you guys do look forward to it. But overall guys, that's about for this video. I'll see you in my next one very soon. Goodbye.